Are there any current plans on bringing more LGBT plus characters into the MCU, specifically the T trans characters?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Make Marvel male again. A powerful message telling the studios to get back to the basics of making movies that entertain everyone. Simple. While independent filmmaker Chris Gore triggered a temper tantrum among the woke in Hollywood with that single tweet. Of course, the hashtag heroes melted down thinking they were going to be barred forevermore from being able to window shop for their one-eyed, three-legged unicorns. I say, so what? It's time that Tinseltown stopped catering to those who brewed farts in a bottle then sold them for a buck a sniff. Their time is over. People want fun and escapism, to be entertained, not preached to and insulted. Hollywood's snoo Coke recipe for the safe space junkies of the snowflake generation has been rejected. What's going on, everybody? I hope you all had an amazing weekend, my friends. Wow. It's both tragic and beautiful to see so many people make so much noise about something they supposedly love, yet never in their life spent any of their hard-earned cash on to support. Otherwise, Disney stock wouldn't have crashed to a 21-year low. And now all of a sudden they're getting all up in arms over someone having a different opinion than them. Make Marvel male again. That's what Chris Gore said. He tweeted it out along with a gif of the Avengers in Endgame. Nothing controversial there. Not unless you're trying to turn a peppercorn into nut shit. In my opinion, he was trying to say, hey, Hollywood, make movies like you used to. Hey, Marvel, make those that you made just a few years ago, not that long ago. They would draw you in like a supernova's gravitational pull, something you could remember, something you wanted to talk about, and everyone wanted to buy everything that had to do with their memorabilia, from a popcorn box to a poster board. Well, then you had the Mary Sue decided to get involved, to get in the middle of this, to put their foot in their mouth by slamming Chris without thinking. When in doubt, some guy on the internet is going to say something sexist and ridiculous because they want attention. So here you go, sir. I'm giving you the attention you're so desperately craving. Chris Gore took to Twitter to share the brilliant and intelligent take of Make Marvel Male Again, because these sexists never have an original thought. Of course, it's the Mary Sue, so we don't really expect much in the way of critical reasoning abilities. They're SJWs, and whenever they're confronted with something outside the specifications of their daily download boundaries, they react in one of only three ways. They reject, or retreat. But if they had actually stopped and paused and took half the time it took to write that article and researching Chris instead of taking another hit on their hate bong, they would have discovered a few interesting things.
We've sort of spent the last couple years seeing things like the Force is female and the future is female. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with those. Nothing wrong with having a Force is female t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with tweeting that and being proud.
That's a lot of egg on their face. And I agree with the sentiment of what Chris is saying. The Force is female. It means you want women in Star Wars? Absolutely. You want them in more properties? Hell yeah, get her done. But I never stood by, and I never will, with Kathleen Kennedy. When she came out wearing that shirt, the Force is female, I knew what she meant. She didn't want to have men and women on an equal footing in story and character. She wanted the women to kick the men out the door and humiliate them as much as they could. And that is exactly what happened.
I'm excited for so much that's going on. I think there's nothing better than Star Wars to escape into right now.
Yeah.
So if Star Wars can give us a little bit of hope and optimism and something to escape into, I think that's something we all want to do.
So how did Marvel become so successful with phase 1 through 3, getting so many billion-dollar box office champs? Because Kevin Feige found a way to restrain his inner cucked Kevin Smith at bottled magic, making movies for everyone.
Why do women love Marvel so much? Probably because it's basically a Chippendales show with beefcake. You're going to hear many women say, when Chris Evans emerged from the capsule, all chatted out as Captain America, they might have felt something a little down below.
So women got to see strong, complex characters with full arcs. They got to see legendary heroes that made them sigh just by looking at them. And men got to see these beautiful women who were equally bold and brilliant, as they were 100% absolute feminine. They weren't trying to act like guys. It was a simple recipe that worked for 80 years. Strong story, real characters to go along with vibrant visuals and a tempo of a heart-pounding score that just glued your eyeballs to the screen. The idea is that Phase 4 has been the MCU and has featured more female heroes than male. First of all, that is straight up false. Second, boohoo, go touch some grass if a female superhero makes you that angry. Looking at Phase 4, we've had more male superheroes featured prominently than female heroes. The numbers for the first time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are closer, but there are still more male heroes featured than female characters. It doesn't matter if you have more physical male bodies on the screen. That doesn't mean there are more men. It simply means there are more XY chromosomes running around in tights. See, Disney turned Marvel, as Gary from Nerdrotic would say, into the MCU. So the failure of the MCU's Phase 4 is on Kevin Feige's head because he thought he could transform men into Hannah Montana pajama babies and force them to walk backwards in high heels right into a talk therapy session where their peters would be pickled in soy sauce simply to satisfy the sensitivities of programmable SJWs who at a drop of a hat will run and hide the moment they see a real man on screen emanating anything coming across as strength, honor, and character that would make women blush and fall in love. Marvel Boss wants more female than male heroes in the MCU. They have more women than ever, acting like men, grabbing their crotch, scratching their ass, adopting all of their worst vices but none of their better virtues, treating the men like they're villains of the week or low IQ losers. And where has that gotten them? Marvel reportedly unhappy with Phase 4, considering major changes to Phase 5 through 6 slate. Disney's stock is in the toilet because they've polluted their properties for years. The printing machine they had that made them money is now starting to print pink slips. That's because Feige, once again, thought he could inject identity politics into the films, and he thought that would trump story 10 times out of 10. But that radical ideology in Tinseltown is a lie, and you can't craft art from a lie. At least not any kind of art that anyone will buy except for someone's mother.
Are there any current plans on bringing more LGBT plus characters into the MCU, specifically the T trans characters?
Yes, absolutely, yes. And very soon.
Moving forward, how do you see the MCU becoming more inclusive and diverse as the showrunner?
2 of the 3 Disney Plus shows that I just mentioned, directed by women. We've got 3 other shows that we've announced, but we haven't announced the players. Spoiler alert, 2 out of 3 of them are women. I say when you're sitting at a table, and if everybody looks like you, you're in trouble.
Their goal is to confuse society, to pump cancer into culture, to break people down by siding with the pronoun police who create absolutely nothing but shout loudly in order to help shape the narrative. But these people, sadly, they're nothing but broken toys. They want to break the entire world so they can feel good about themselves. The reality is you don't live your life based on the opinions of others. That's a recipe for failure. You get out there, lead by example so everyone can hear you roar. And with all the insanity that Hollywood does every hour, they didn't go crazy over that, but they went insane over Chris Gore's tweet. Are you for real? Yeah, he's for real. Are you for real? Do you simply not understand? Or is it a little bit too deep for you? It's interesting to see how in careers and reputations and in the nerd sphere, they all roll into the fandom menace. Make Marvel male again. Stan Lee would hate you and resent that sentiment. That mentality is the opposite of what the stories are about. Well, then this is for you.
I don't like changing characters that are already established. I think it's easier to just add new characters.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. That was beautiful, as always. I hope right now that you're jumping in between the Baxter Building and somewhere up high in Avengers Tower in the sky. What you said was perfect, as always. Stop corrupting these characters like the heroes, just like human beings. They're unique, special. They have their own history. Stop changing them. Honor the history, respect the legacy, and faithfully adapt the legends. That's what we need to get him back to. We used to have movies where men and women were real role models, not only for the next generation, but for those who kept this one running. They inspired people with the magic of movies. They lifted their heads high and kept their hearts filled with fire. That's the power of hope and cinema gold. So what's the answer? Well, we're doing it right now. We're waking people up. We're getting them to step up and stand tall so we can get the studios to stop trying to impress their red carpet friends and all their identity-obsessed critics who live in the Hollywood hype, who are nothing more than prostitutes who do anything to just get a shoulder rub from a celebrity. We want real characters with strong stories in mysterious or strange surroundings that we know nothing about to draw us to the edge of our seats. You remember Yellowstone, Deadwood, Sopranos, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Goonies, Time Bandits, everything that we used to create that we still talk and dream about today. We want to return to that golden age of cinema. We're going to have to win this culture war. And to do that, we need people to step up. If you want to, all you got to do, if you like this video, is hit the subscribe button and push the notification bell and leave your thoughts or questions in the comments down below and let your voice be heard around the world. And remember that we never bow down. We never bend the knee. Always forward.